The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Well, hello. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
And I'm CJ.
And it is Wednesday in the Riv.
And we're home.
And we're home. And thank you to the hard work they put into restoring this studio so we could be here. And this is great. I needed a lot of room today. CJ and I got a ton of paperwork
Oh,
here.
yeah. No question about it.
Because let's start the show off with the latest article from the propaganda arm, the Herald News. I guess today, Joe Good wrote an article about what they're going to do about the manpower shortage and lateral transfers and all the things we talked about on Monday's show.
Isn't it amazing that as soon as we talk about it, they decide they're going to do it?
Yeah. Well, Monday was also National Law Enforcement
Yes,
Day,
it was.
and which was coincidental because the story came up and maybe it was fortuitous, but. You know, this is it's so pathetic to now address this problem when it's been going on for years, not months. This department has been eroding for a long time, and we knew it, and he knew it.
Right.
And I'm going to show you how disingenuous our mayor is. This is his message. You see it? Nice. It's nice and living color. Paul Coogan. His message on National Law Enforcement. A great day to acknowledge the men and women who keep our city safe. It's an honor. It's an honor to work alongside the fantastic members of Fall River's public safety agencies, not just the police, okay, but because, the other public safety arms are not part of law enforcement, technically. Well, fire department does enforce fire codes, but, we know what the law enforcement is. Thank you for your service and dedication to our community. And this is how our mayor has thanked the Fall River PD. We saw them appear before the council talking about the shortages that have gone on. And in that article today, supposedly they said they have one lateral transfer. Well, when did Councilor Peckham suggest this? 2 years ago?
Yes, that's right.
And it's been eroding ever since. And you know what they said? The chief said, we're putting the pedal to the metal. A little too late. There's not much metal left on the brake pads or the pedal. Fundamentally, we have a whole bunch of stuff, but this is a letter. This is the letter that was written. This is about this whole scenario to the city council. I write to you today in regards to Mayor Paul Coogan's appropriation order request to transfer funds from the police department's FY 2020 budget and community maintenance. They're gonna basically remove $480,000 and we know this was.
And we spoke about that.
And this was this was beginning
right
in 2020. And who was the mayor in 2020? Paul Coogan.
Right.
Okay. So now he's putting the pedal to the metal. The pedal to the metal. Too little, too late. Government by crisis. Paul has never found a crisis that he couldn't hide as long as he could and only deal with it when it came out, like Malone. How many more people would Malone have harassed if that didn't break, if that story finally didn't break? Who knows how long? It might still be buried. We might still have Malone. But okay, just to corroborate this, to say, here's a couple of headlines. Maybe you can even read them if I can get my finger there. Okay, during a spike in crime, Fall River. City Council votes to transfer unused police funds. Well, Again, it's not only Coogan. Coogan proposes, but these rubber stamp counselors who all should be gone next November too. During a spike in crime, we're transferring money. Mayor Coogan to shift 280,233, and then if you go to the next page, the total is 480,000 because it's 175,000 in administrative expenses, 280,223 in police salaries, and 24,000 in administrative salaries. Okay. This is a plea that letter was a plea. Do not remove from police department. It is needed. But don't worry, everybody. I will walk around with his hands in his pocket, Mayor. Delayed this as long as he could and let the department completely disintegrate. You can't explain this away. I am sorry. This is malfeasance on the part of a public official. He did absolutely nothing, and we are number one in crime. It'd be bad enough if we let our police department, and he's forcing these people that it's such an honor, working 16-hour shifts, 6 days a week, basically, burning them out. The people that are left are burning them out. And don't worry, we got somebody transferring over from Rhode Island, and one person, and we got a few people on, that are going to go to the academy. What, 3 years after he took office, and when he got in office, he knew this was an issue, because some of these things were actually just before he came into office. But everybody knew it. But all he was interested in is playing, let's juggle the police chiefs around. All the other issues in the police department, the lawsuits, the drugs in the drawer, pedal to the metal. Well, I'll tell you what, you may have dropped that pedal to the metal, but I don't think you got an engine to drive it. And I know our engine is supposed to be the mayor. He's supposed to be the guy.
That's a 1920 Ford.
Nah, I'll tell you what. His engine's one gerbil on a treadmill, because this is, look, we're laughing, but we're laughing to keep from crying. This is a very dangerous city. We just had more. We had an attempted murder, 2 armed robberies over the holidays, other shots fired. We're number one in crime, and this. I can't even, because I might use
so much so. This is what's interesting. Yesterday, on the Channel 12 News, it's amazing how much time I've got to make for all these news programs. They said that the crime in Fall River is now rolling over into Providence because Fall River criminals are coming to Providence to hold up stores.
Yeah. Well, now we've actually begun to start committing crime in Providence. But remember, 4 or 5 years ago, they broke up a big mule ring that was muling drugs from Providence to Fall River.
Exactly.
So we were allowing our children to be sold drugs and overdosing. We know the problem nationally. And where were they? A lot of those people were from Fall River, bringing drugs down to Fall River. And and I apologize, this thing seems like maybe this won't be a bad day, but I got this little tiny button on the side here, and I got these big giant size 16 fingers. And when I turn this thing on and off, it's very difficult. So my dog is not going to be barking at me because I keep getting text messages. So I have just silenced it. I'm sorry. I just hate to do it, because then it takes me I've got to use like a screwdriver or something to turn it back on. But this is crazy. This is crazy. Providence is the capital of Rhode Island. It's 3 times bigger than Fall River. And it's like now they got to worry more about criminals from Fall River than they do about illegal immigrants. I mean, this man's doing a great job. The pedals to the metal, baby. He's been in for 3 years. It's like what he did with, and I know this can't be. The COVID. And in this letter, it talks about COVID being relaxed.
Yep.
So that's a crock. But then again, it doesn't matter. Listen, let me just wipe that excuse right out of Paul's campaign. Because what did you do during COVID, Paul, besides walk around and get a photo? Oh, here's a mask. Here's a mask. Oh, yes, I'm a
Here's
mask.
some hand sanitizer.
I'm a mask hander.
Yep.
No, we don't have people to do that. That's what, the mayor of the city of Fall River should be interested in handing out masks, not getting them handed out. But let me tell you, the people of Fall River, what real leaders do. And I think I've mentioned this a few times, but I think now is another time to remind everybody. You know what the city of Taunton did during the COVID lockdowns?
They revamped their entire city government.
They revamped their entire city government, and I talked to a Taunton city councilor who told me all about it, how they made their permitting process to make it better, more business friendly. They revamped their entire governmental structure. And you know what he said? It was an unfortunate time, but it was also the perfect time for us to be able to focus on this stuff because we didn't have traffic coming into City Hall. Everything was being done online, and it allowed us to take a step back and look how we could make our government better.
And remember, the other thing that Taunton has was a business-friendly mayor.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay, very business-friendly mayor.
Paul is very friendly,
Yeah.
but only certain business.
Only certain people, yeah.
But I mean, you're right. Taunton established a business-friendly atmosphere for everybody.
Right.
And they took, God, what an amazing idea, right? A mayor being a mayor trying to streamline government for the betterment of his people. No, let's do what Paul does. We got problems with Malone. Everybody shut the door, turn out the lights. Nobody's going to know anything. They're going to have to pull it out like pulling teeth. Mm-hmm. You don't get, we still don't know what really happened with Malone. Oh, John Perry. Oh, drugs in a drawer. Oh, lawsuits up the kazoo. What are we doing, Paul? Hiding them. Paul never saw a crisis he couldn't try to bury. And that's the reality. That's the way he does business. He doesn't do business. Remember, he's never been a leader. He was a vice principal and a very well-protected vice principal because he always had the political clout to make sure he was protected. But this is outrageous. This is nothing but he's trying to run for re-election
on no record.
On no record.
Right.
Because he wants to elevate. What has he elevated? He's elevated all his friends' bank accounts. The average people in Fall River, this is what he's done. Allow the police department to disintegrate. And now at yesterday's council meeting, they talked about they're going to turn the central station that now has all our ambulances into the Taj Mahal. We're going to have air conditioning. We're going to have this. We're going to have that. And Aiken said, we're going to bring them all down here. We're going to have everybody in here that's EMS. Oh, good. And now we increase the response time everywhere in the city except in the central business district, and it may cost a life. Remember the football player?
That's right.
He only survived because he got. So you're going to tell me, well, we're going to get in there within the guideline. I don't care. If there was an ambulance at Candia Station or the Globe Station that could have got there a minute and a half, 2 minutes earlier, that could mean the difference between life and death. And apparently, Paul Coogan and his entire staff is more interested in the comfort and personnel issues. Oh, we did this not because of public safety. It was a personnel issue, just like in a school department. Oh, we got a guy running a side job, and he's getting flack, but he's connected, so let's split the departments and promote people. Make him a department head. This is what they do. It's just inconceivable how it's bad. Look, politics is always part of it. But you can't, this guy that's all he does because that's all he ever did in the school department. Politics.
Right.
And this is crazy. You can't. And again, look, the police department, this is to be continued. We know what but we've got to try to touch this American Rescue Plan because Nelson made a presentation last night.
Yes, he did. And I thought that was very well presented.
Exactly.
And I think he did a great job.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And what he did was he highlighted what they're supposed to be doing, like being transparent with the money.
Right.
And he read the law, and we have it right here.
Oh, no, we got the law again? Oh.
Yeah, the law. And you know, there's just so much paperwork. I didn't have time to highlight it. But he talked about how we can have an audit. And I think we're gonna. I think
Any expenditure over $750,000.
I think we can ask for an audit.
Yep.
And I think some of the people in Fall River will sign on to get that audit. But it also talked about accurate numbers. Accurate numbers. Because we know that I have court cases that say they have to give us exact numbers. They have to be super diligent when they do this. And the reality is that they don't. You know, at last night's council meeting, you know what our answer was about the debt override? That's why I'm filing another complaint with the DOR, and these people are insane. We're paying these people. This is the kind of people he hires, like him, deflectionists.
Yes.
They never give you a straight answer.
No.
It's always well, it's not supposed to be an approximation, idiots. It's our money. You're not supposed to be telling us, well, this is purely for discussion. Yesterday they said, oh, the override's approximately, not exactly.
Exactly, right.
Approximately 21 cents or $65. Really? We know what happens when they say that about the water bill.
That's right.
Nobody ever gets that. It's supposed to be approximately 21% and $65, and everybody's water bill goes up 125.
Right.
You got to show us the numbers. Oh, and by the way, at the budget hearings, I'm giving you a little tip. You and your staff that apparently, who are supposed to be professionals, that can't add and subtract and multiply and divide, because you can't get an accurate answer. You know,
Get an approximation.
with Mary Sahadi, you had to give her credit. She gave you a number.
Yes, she did.
Half the time they were wrong.
And she didn't like them.
and she didn't like the fact that we corrected her.
Right.
But she gave a number.
She did.
She gave a percentage. She
did.
gave a number. She gave something. Well, I'm going to tell you a little secret, Paul. We've got the numbers of how much you were supposed to pay on that debt exclusion when you were pushing it from 2018.
That's right.
You had a number that was given to the school committee, and we have it. And we know that last year you didn't appropriate that amount. And if this year you do it again, we're coming after you. Because what are you doing with the money? Not only that, you're kicking the debt down the road by not paying what you said we would pay. Because remember, they said, it'll be paid like in 8 years. So
Right.
Don't worry about it.
I remember that.
You may not even, I remember that vividly. You may not even have to pay, because we'll be in such great financial shape that we may not even have to. We can just pay it off ourselves and not, implement the override. Of course, Paul didn't finish that sentence, but if I become mayor, I'm gonna flush this entire city down the toilet.
Right.
Because that's what I'm doing. You know, with me as mayor, making all kinds of jobs and giving all kinds of pay raises, we'll never pay this thing off. And it'll be kicked down the road. But I got news for you. That's not what we voted on. We voted on a debt. And they gave us a number. But Mary Sahadi, we have a memory. Unlike Paul, we don't only remember what we want. Mary Sahadi said, well, we're looking at paying it off in like 8 years, but it's a 30-year debt. And that's exactly the amount of time they wanted to kick this thing down the road.
That's right.
Right from the get-go. Because he is the most disingenuous, flat-out, untruthful mayor we have ever had.
Say it, liar.
Nobody, liar, pants on fire.
Exactly.
Okay. He never tells the public anything.
Nope.
About anything, whether it's school department, we never know. Everything, ARPA money. This law says you have to tell us.
That's right.
Wait a minute. What is this? Oh, it's only the law. Don't worry about it, folks. Throw the thing away. We only abide by the charter and the law when it benefits us. It's not gonna happen. People are sick of it. You have somebody running against you. Now you actually have 2 people, supposedly.
Yep.
Another individual and I guess since he put it on Facebook, we can read it. I have the post. But he made a very good comment. I have to agree with his premise, because that's what I believe the other candidate is saying. Let me see if I can find it.
You know, it's always very interesting to see that, you know, this early in the election cycle, we got people, I mean, Colin Dias posted a vague comment that he may run for office. I asked him, he says, I'm going to make the decision in the next couple of weeks. Is he going to run for city council? Is he going to run for school committee again? I don't know. But we have a lot of people running because they're sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Exactly. Just like on the federal government, they're sick and tired of these people spending our money, and not for us, but for their own special interests.
Exactly.
Like I found it.
Like any true Democrat does.
I found it. This is a statement put out, and I don't have who sent it. I just have the hashtag. Oh yeah, no, I actually do. His name is on this, because you know I'm not big hashtag aficionado here. I look forward to taking on Paul in the coming year and utterly destroying his feeble attempts to legitimize the century-old system of plundering poor and working-class people to enrich the people like himself and his friends. Hashtag defend the taxpayers. Hashtag vote Jordan. So we know who that is.
I was going to say that's got to be Jordan Sylvia.
Although the date's wrong, so this may be something he posted at the last one. We have to check this. This got sent to us, but this may be the last one.
I had heard Jordan make comments that he wants to run because he wants to be in the debates to make everybody look foolish.
Well,
let me tell you something. Jordan can do that. Jordan's very good at calling people out and making comments that are very, very, very controversial.
No, you're right. But the only problem I have, Jordan's a bright guy.
He is.
But the problem I have with that is well, it's my opinion, and obviously he has a different one, and he's entitled to it. I don't believe getting into a election just to be an irritant is not the thing to do. Be an activist all through. Paul's been in office for 3 years. We haven't heard a lot from Jordan in 3 years.
No, we haven't.
And now he's going to run for office because he wants that little snapshot window to be supposedly the voice of the people.
Right.
But if you're going to run for office, I hope, and he may, I hope he comes forward with some plans of his own that if he was mayor, what would he do? And I mean realistic plans, not like eliminate taxation and stuff like that, which is an impossibility. I hope he comes forward and not on that, because look, there's nobody that, look, you and I, there's nobody that likes spirited debate more than you and I.
Oh, yeah.
House
of Commons, let's go.
Yeah, House of Commons, nothing better than a rowdy debate.
That's true.
Candidates going after each other about content, not personalizing.
That's right.
But about content. That is good. That's a good thing. And Jordan does have some very good ideas and grasps on the issues. He's not a dummy.
No, he's not.
But when he sometimes when he gets in there, it becomes more like, don't play the court jester. Be a candidate. Be a real candidate. Bring something to the table besides just, I'm going to attack the other people. Right. Yeah, that's fine. We love that. Go ahead. Take off the gloves, put on a brass knuckles, beat each other's brains out in a debate. That is tremendous. I like that stuff. But don't just do it for the sake of beating the other guy up and having nothing to bring to the table on your side to say, look, if I'm mad, this is how I'm going to fix this stuff.
If you're just doing it to be a PIA, guess what?
Yeah.
Be a pain somewhere else.
Exactly.
Because, you're disingenuous to the people, and you make yourself look foolish. And people don't want that. When they see a debate, they want information. They want to know what your plan is. They want to know, how is it going to benefit me? How is it going to benefit the city? They don't want to hear how you have a personal vendetta against Paul or against Sam or against John or against Smith or whoever. They don't want to hear that. They want to know, what's your plan?
Yeah.
And what's your plan that's so different than Paul's plan? Which any plan is different than Paul's plan.
Well, the thing is that that statement, whether it was last time he announced it, he might post the other one, the same thing, but you see, even then, if it was before the previous election, and maybe he didn't get the signatures last time.
No, he
I
didn't.
believe. So, who knows if he's going to get them this time. But the reality is that he did hit the nail on the head. See, that's one thing. You know, Jordan is a keen observer.
He is.
When he looks at things and he sees the reality of what's going on. You know, it's not like, one of our perennial candidates who goes there and just goes, oh, can I go to the free breakfast and stuff like that? No, Jordan's really got a handle on a lot of things. He looks at things. He makes some tremendously valid points. And when he said that Paul, the way he framed that, haves and have-nots, Paul has been running this city down, and the thing I liked about that comment was that it's been done for centuries. Because remember, what I read from the Labor's Untold Story many times on this show about a Fall River mule spinner, somebody who worked in a mill, testifying in front of the Senate in the 1850s about making nothing virtually, having no money at all. They had to go dig clams, and they had to steal wood from the railroad tracks to heat their houses, and they were living like a family of 6 was living on $125 a year. But you see, the only thing that's changed is the names.
Right.
Fall River at one time, all these 3 deckers were inhabited by mill workers who were forced to work 12, 14 hours a day for peanuts. And the people who owned the mills owned the 3 deckers, so they got most of their salary back when they charged them rent, and they owned the stores that they bought their food in, so they were working for nothing. And they actually made the comments in those days that you got to keep them working 14 hours a day, because the only thing they know how to do
is make babies,
is fornicate and drink.
That's right.
And just get them so tired they can't do that.
That's right.
They keep them out of trouble.
Yeah.
And that's the attitude. And, Paul Coogan's been in for 3 years. He's had ample time to look at the people and the problems of the people. You don't see him talking about the crime that affects everybody. He's let it go for 3 years. You don't see him talking about affordable housing while we're having people virtually breaking down in tears because they can't afford their rents. As you said, he had a guy call the police. He thought he could get him arrested.
Yeah.
These are everyday people issues. The average, the average of most people in this city are below average salaries. This is a poorer city. When we rank the cities in Massachusetts of our size, we are at the bottom. And he has not done a damn thing except ignore all these problems and promote a whole bunch of people and give them pay raises. And that's my opinion.
No, you're not far off at that at all. And the sad part about it is that for 3 years the people have been telling him this, and for 3 years he's been walking around like this, or with his hands in his pockets, as you say. It just hasn't been a good sight for Fall River, and it hasn't made for Fall River to be moving forward, as they all say. So it just gets to be a little ridiculous. I want to bring to your attention that on Monday we won't have a show. I know it's Wednesday, but I want to get some of this out now. Monday we won't have a show because it's Martin Luther King Day, and BCC is bringing back the Martin Luther King Day breakfast celebration. So please, if you're interested, it starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. 8:30 the breakfast will be served, I guess, and it should be an interesting time. So remember, stay safe, stay angry, and hold your politicians accountable. Have a great day, and we'll see you on Friday.
To be continued. We will dig into the American Rescue Plan on Friday, so tune in.